Today we're loading up some Servicio small pistol primers in 10mm, and that's coming up next here on Jesse B Outdoors Reloading. Welcome back everybody, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below if you like videos like this. So in this video what we're going to do is put the Servicio small pistol primers in 10mm, and we're going to load them up here on the Lee Classic Turret Press. And then on my other channel we're going to take them outside and shoot them. So let's go ahead and get started and get these primed up. First off, I'd like to say what's different about these ones than the last ones. The last ones I got were in the green and yellow package. These new ones come in this gray package here. I don't know if this means they're updated or not, but what we're going to do is we're going to load 50 of these up to shoot in my Smith & Wesson M&P 10mm. So we're going to start by getting 50 of these out, get my flipping tray here, flip those over. We'll get these all organized. We're going to save those other 50. You can see here I got some 45 ACP. I'm waiting to get some rust made up. We're going to do this in 45 ACP also, but I'm going to get these straightened up and then we'll get priming. Now I do want to say this newer batch seemed like they flipped over in the tray a lot better than what the other ones did. Walter from Viejo channel, and he mentioned something about that, and I told him that the ones in this before, they didn't flip that good, but these ones seem to flip pretty good on here. So we're going to prime a few of these up here. Even in 10mm, these are nice and smooth. What I'm using is Federal and Blazer Brass. Those are the only two companies I know of that make a small pistol primer 10mm. They do in 45 also. That's what most of my 45 brass is. But these are going in nice and easy on these. Don't see nothing concerning, just like on 9mm and 40 priming these. They seem to be fine. So I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this. Looking good, looking good. Alright, gonna talk to you for a minute here if you see me fumbling around with some of these. In case you don't follow the channel, I have a muscle disease, so it affects my hands, so sometimes I cannot tell when I got a hold of these, or my hands get very weak and numb. But so far these are going in pretty good. Fix that one right there. Haven't had no issues so far. Oop, I dropped that one on the floor. We'll get that one last. No issues so far, just my hand's not working right. That's the only issue. Primers and everything else are going great. Alright, we're down to the last one here. Get that put in there. Now we got 50 of these primed up. Let's get loading them. Now before we get loading here, you can see my lead loadmaster is gone. That thing actually ticked me off when I originally was going to do this video. I had issues with it when I loaded up the 1,000 rounds of 9mm Xtreme Bullets. And this stems back to way back. I can get it run for like 200-300 rounds good, and then I got to tinker with it. Same thing, tinker with it. Well, I'm done tinkering with it. I crushed 10mm brass on it trying to do this video, so I got mad. Threw it in the trash, which I showed you guys the picture of it on my other channel, but it didn't go in the trash. It's sitting on the shelf here, and it's going to be going up for sale, and I'm probably going to buy a Dillon 550C. But for this one, we're bringing out the old trusty Lee Classic Turret Press, because this Lee press I've never had an issue with, and I actually love it. Now, one thing I made a change on this is I got a magnet right here holding one of my Olight flashlights, and what I do is I have that there so I can see the powder drop. And you can see we got the powder drum here that we're going to be using. And the powder we're going to be using is going to be powder pistol in these. Of course, we got the Servicio primers. And what we're going to use is the Lee 401 175 truncated cone. This is a bullet I casted up. Thank you, Missouri Bullet Company, for the lead. I use their lead to cast these up with. So let's get started. Now let's get started here. And I already set these dies up before this, so what I want to do is I want to get this first one going, and then once again I'll tell you guys the way I do stuff. Since this is my first round here, we are going to size it. we're going to bring it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it halfway up there. I'm going to take my brass over here, zero out my powder measurer here to make sure that I'm getting the charge I want. This has been sitting for a little bit, so I might have to do it a couple of times just to get it to where I want it. Yep, that one right there is too much, like I figured. You should always check your first rounds when you're doing this with any powder measurer. Don't matter the press, you need to check it back out to make sure that it's where it's at. Usually people do this about 10 times. This is my third time, and it's getting about where I want it right there. So I'm just going to check it a few more times, and if it hits what I want, dead on again, then we'll move on. But this is just what I like doing. Usually if I do a video with my progressive press, I already skip this part just because I don't want to bore you guys with it. But I figured since we got a new press here, I would show you guys how I do it. And that one is where I want it, so we're going to move on here. Now that also flares it, and then we're going to take our bullet here and get it the right way. We're going to seat it, and you can see there that the bullet is seated. Then we're going to get it here, get it lined back up, and crimp it. And I want to make sure my crimp die is set up right. And it looks like it is. So here is our very first round. So once again, I'm going to do like I do with the other one. I got my M&P 10mm barrel. Do a plunk test. That sounded good. Dropped right out. Plunked right in. This is perfect. Then we're going to spin it. And that works perfectly fine. That's the way that I like doing these. So now let's get reloading. 49 more of these here. And we will sit here and yap while we're doing this. Now, the one reason why I want to do this video is, you guys, if you follow my other channel, you saw I had issues in my Glock Gen 3 clones with these primers. And then I did an actual review video with it, and they worked great in my Glocks, my Glock 19 and my Glock 22. So then in the third video, what we did is I bought extra power springs for my Glock clones, put those in there, and we got them to fire just fine. Now, like I said in that video, the reason why I wanted these primers to work in those is because these primers are 15 bones cheaper than the next ones. Then the next highest ones are CCIs, which I normally use if I can get my hands on them. And another one I like is Federal. Those ones aren't bad, but those have been expensive lately. I haven't seen any Remingtons. I'm not too fond of Remington primers at all. I've had issues with those with some guns too. Some people don't believe me, but that's my experience with them. Now, these were old Remingtons, not the new ones here, and I went too far, and I have that issue sometimes. Now I build that out too much, and I totally forgot about that I got to watch that with this. We'll dump this back in here. I'll pop the primer out and fix that brass here, and we'll go back a step. But I don't see Remingtons that much anymore, so I don't really worry about that one. Yeah, for some reason with my 40 and 10mm dies on this press, they'll go past to where I want them. And if I don't watch it, I'll do that. Never figured out why this press does that with these dies, but every other die, they work out just fine. So, somebody else asked me, oh, we got to get past this one here. Let me go back, I got talking. That's what happens when you're on camera. Let me make sure I crimp this one. There we go. Get talking on camera. So I had somebody ask me if I could try it in other calibers, because they've watched my other videos, and they know I got small pistol brass and 10mm, and they knew I also had it in 45 ACP. So I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, we'll do some videos of that, no problem. So that's where this idea came about, was actually from you guys. So I figured since I've got two channels now, we would reload them on this channel Oop, we need a bullet here. And then we'll shoot them on my other channel. Sorry for bumping the camera. That's the other thing. I haven't figured out good camera angles for this stuff yet. Still learning on all that. So we're going to do 10 millimeters in this video. And then in the next video, what we're going to do, we'll do some 45s. Now, I put a post out on my social media and on here, and I had an overwhelming response of people wanting to help me with 45 ACP small pistol primer brass. Thank you guys for that. I got enough to do that video now, and I'm actually shocked by you guys, the response I got on that. Man, you guys are awesome on trying to help me out. I had so many respond to that to help me out for that video, and I really appreciate it, guys. That, like I said, a lot of this on my channel I could not do without you guys. I have your guys' support for a lot of this stuff, and I really appreciate it, because I couldn't do it without you guys. Like I said, I'm not made of money. I love doing this for a pastime, and I do a lot of it, and I like making videos for you guys, and I'm so appreciative of you guys, because you help me out so much with this stuff, and I really appreciate it. Ooh, that one was kind of hard. But what we're going to do is keep on loading these. You can see with a Lee Classic press here, turret press, it doesn't go too bad. I just would rather have a progressive to do all this, because with this one, every 4 pulls you get 1 bullet, and of course with a progressive, once you get it going, every pull you get a bullet. So this is a little bit slower, like I mentioned before with the Lee progressive Loadmaster. Man, some of those are getting crimped kind of hard there. I'm pretty much done with the Lee Loadmaster. I just can't deal with it no more. To me, if I can't enjoy reloading because I'm always working on it, what's the sense of doing it? Because to me, reloading is supposed to be relaxing and fun. When you're sitting there having to fight with a press, that is not relaxing and fun. So that thing's got to go. I'll probably get rid of it. And we're saving up here for a Dillon 550C. I know changeover kits are expensive for it. Hopefully I can get on eBay, and when I do that, I can find some good deals on conversion kits, because I would like to get at least 9mm, 40, 10mm. And on those, I found out by looking at a chart that Dillon has, which I already knew from the Lee Classic Turret Press, the shell plate for that is all the same. What's different is the locating pins. And what I was thinking about doing is getting the 9mm conversion kit. And then what I would do is buy the pins for 40 and 10mm, and then the piece that goes into the powder measurer, the flare it, I would get those separate, and hopefully that would be cheaper than getting a whole conversion set, and that would cover 3 calibers there. Now I also do 380, and even though you guys haven't seen it yet, I could do 223 also. I just haven't done any videos shooting them or reloading them yet. So I could do the same thing in 380 and 223 556, take the same shell plate, 300 blackout also. So what I could do, but I don't have a 300 blackout, is get the conversion kit for one and then buy the locating pins for the other. I think that's what I'm going to do on that one, and that'll solve that problem. And then I would just have to get one for 38 Special 357, and then 45 Colt, because those are the only other calibers I reload for. And that would have me covered on the kits. And that would get me all set up for the Dillon. Usually, truthfully, my revolver rounds, I usually do all those on this press. My 38 Specials, 357s, 45 Colts. I usually do all those on this one anyways. But I figured if I got the Dillon and I need to crank some out quick, that'd be a better way to do it. Now as for the Lee Classic Turret Press, Love this thing. Never had an issue with this. And just so you guys know, if you never watched my channel, my reloading channel, this is my reload, and I'm just sitting here yapping with you guys as I reload, showing you guys how I do stuff. But this press here, I would actually recommend this one for a beginner, just because single stage, you can run the single stage, take this rod out, come up here to the top and turn the turret yourself. That'd be easy fixins for something like that. And then you can run it like a single stage. I know plenty of people who do that. They do that with these with rifle rounds, and that's just fine. Works out perfect for that. Then you can put that rod back in and do it like this, where it's, I call it semi-progressive, and run it like we are here. Then you have absolutely no issues at all. Like I said, the only thing, this is a little bit slower than a progressive, because you got to pull the handle 3 times to get a bullet. But you can see here, I'm having absolutely no issues. The only issues I've ever had with this, and anybody knows, there's a plastic box that helps index. Actually, it's down in here, sorry. And sometimes that wears out, and you have to get a new one for it to index. But that's no big deal. You can just pull the rod out, do it manually. So what I got in the habit of doing is Midway USA carries those little plastic square indexing pieces. So pretty much every time I order anything from Midway USA, which is only like 2 or 3 times a year, I get one of those indexing squares because they're only like $1 or something. I throw one of those in on my order. So I got a few of those in case they ever go out. But that is the only issue I've ever had with this press. Another thing is the priming on it. If you go back at some of my older videos on my other channel that I left on there with reloading, the priming system isn't bad on this one. It's junk on the Loadmaster. But I'd still rather just hand prime with my Frankfurt Arsenal hand primer that you guys saw. I actually won that on a giveaway here on YouTube. And I was using a Lee one. And man, does that smoke the Lee one. The Frankfurt Arsenal one is awesome. You can adjust the primer depth. It's built nice and sturdy. Really, really, really like that one. And I just learned to prime all my brass beforehand. For one, I can say YouTube. I'm not manufacturing ammo. I'm skipping a step because I'm not priming these. But in this video I did, of course. But we'll see how that goes with YouTube. This channel probably won't get monetized. Got a long way to go to worry about that. We're only at 35 subscribers right now as of this video. But if we get that far, cool. If we don't, we don't. Like I said before in my other videos, I just miss doing reloading videos. So I was like, hey, I'm going to start up a second channel because my other channel is doing good. And I don't want to hurt that channel. It's growing nicely. So I figured I'll start a second channel. That way if something happens to this one, no big deal. And I just wanted to use this channel to reload, of course, and show you guys it and talk with you guys. That's where I get some of my ideas for videos like this. Don't know why some of these are hard like that when they go through the factory crimp die. I know CW, if you watch this, he absolutely hates that Lee factory crimp die. So I know he'll say something down in the comments. But we love our brother CW, so we know he don't like all Lee products. But he's got the value turret press, which is like this. And he absolutely loves it. So that's a good thing to know, that somebody who don't really like Lee products, he don't hate them all, just some of them. But it's good to know somebody like him actually likes some Lee products. And not all Lee stuff is bad, and I can tell you, I got a lot of it. All my dies are Lee dies. I do have some RCBS dies now, just because on Amazon, back in February of 2023, somebody was running some killer deals on their carbide dies. And 3 weeks in a row, I managed to get enough money that I got a 9mm set, a 380 set, and a 40 10mm set. But by the time I got the money for 45, the deal was already done with. And I wanted to get the 45 ACP, 45 Colt, and the 38 357, but that didn't happen. But that's alright, maybe I'll get them on sale again, because I really want to use all my lead dies when I use this, and then when I get the Dillon, I'll probably end up using all the RCBS dies on the Dillon, is what my plan for now is. But like I said, with Lee, some of the stuff is cheap plastic junk, others ain't. I've also got the Lee APP press, which I'm probably going to pop that out here after we get done with these. And I'll show you guys real quick how to pop a primer out. Now, when we get to that part, that was kind of rough there. Make sure I didn't screw the case up. So one thing I noticed with 10mm, man, pretty thin on the brass, and sometimes if you don't get it just right, you will kill the brass on these. That's what happened on my Lee Loadmaster, and I got mad at it. That's why we switched over to this. But yeah, with Lee, some of their stuff, it does have cheap plastic on there. One thing I don't like about Lee is their warranty. They got a good warranty, but the issue is if you're in a certain state, they want you to pay tax and everything on it. I think that's BS. And then, like, if you got a problem, like, say, my Lee Loadmaster, if I wanted them to check that out themselves, I would have to pay shipping to get it back to them. And, man, that's a heavy press. I am not going to pay shipping on that heavy press. Pretty much, I've done everything that Lee could do on it. And it's just tricks and stuff I learned over the couple of years I've had it. But I'm just done with that thing. And, what I did for spare parts on that, what I actually did was, is if you go onto their eBay, they sell everything for, I think, a penny or something like that for replacement stuff. And then I'm going to run this through the crimp again because I lost track where I was. And then I think you pay the $10 shipping on it, which I'm still not enthused with. From what I've seen with the warranty on Dillon stuff, everybody's like, no BS warranty. That's what I want, because I want to be able to sit down, reload, and just go like this with no issues. That way it's nice, relaxing, and I'm not sitting there fighting with everything and anything while I'm trying to do it. Like I said, that 1,000 rounds of 9mm Xtreme Bullets, that was a pain in my booty to do those 1,000 rounds, and it was very aggravating. I like shooting 100 rounds of 9mm in every video. Usually if I do 380, 9mm, and 40, I try to shoot 100 rounds in the video. And then when we move up to big bore stuff like 10mm we got here, which I know it's like a 40, but most of these take large pistol primers, so I call it big bore. 45 ACP, 45 Colt, and the revolver rounds. Usually in those videos I only do 50. For one, large pistol primers are so much more expensive, and for two, revolvers, there's only so many different things you can do with camera angles and talking with revolvers that I think after 50 rounds, pretty much I've proved my point with the gun, the ammo, or whatever I'm doing with that. So we're coming down here. We've got 2 more rounds to do to have our 49. Then you guys are going to have a bonus here. I know a lot of people think you got to scrap a piece of brass when you got a small pistol primer in it. You don't have to do that. You could do it. You just got to be very, very careful doing it. So we got our 49th round here. We'll get this loaded up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my app press out real quick and show you guys how to pop the primer out of that one we messed up. Be right back. Now we got my Lee app press here, and I'm not even going to clamp it down like I normally do. There's no need to. Put this right in the center of the shelf. And then what we're going to do is move this back so we don't hit the camera. And we're just going to lightly push down on that. Then I'm going to scroll the camera down here. And I mean, you need to lightly do it. And you can see right there, there is our primer, and that's all you need to do to pop that primer out. So now I'm going to grab another case throw this one in the recycling bin and pop that primer in and then reload it. Now we got that primer in our new piece of brass here, and like I said, I am not liable for what you guys do. If you're very, very careful, you could do this, but if you try that and you pop one of these and get hurt, I am not liable for what you guys do. I was just showing you that you can pop a primer out, but you got to be very, very, let me emphasize this again, very, very slow and careful while doing that. Let's get this reloaded. Alright, we're going to put this one back in here. Size it, move my camera here so I don't hit it. And I'm going to do the same thing since this is the last one. I'm going to zero my scale out here. Get a powder drop. Make sure we are where we want to be. And we are here. These are going to be some potent rounds. That's all I'm going to tell you on these. I need to grab another bullet here. I put the bullets up already. But they should be pretty potent here, but we don't care about that. What we care about is, are these primers going to fire in our Smith & Wesson M&P? And there was number 50. And now we'll scan over here. And you can see all 50 of these are done. No issues at all, except for that one we screwed up. Nice bullets here that we made up. Love that lead bullet. It works good in 40 and 10 millimeter. So let's go ahead and I'll tell you my final thoughts. Now, what's my final thoughts here on these primers for reloading? Just as 9mm and 40, they went into the small pistol primer, brass, and 10mm just fine. So now what we got to do is we got to go over to my other channel and see the shooting on this. But what I'm going to do now is, like I showed you guys in my 9mm, I'm going to go through all 50 of these, plunk test them in my barrel here, make sure they all work out good. And that's why I don't have a lot of issues in my videos, because I double check them when I do that before I load them up to fire them. That's one thing I like doing, just to make sure they work good. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the reloading channel here and reloading ammo, and then enjoy my other channel where we go out and shoot it. So as always, don't forget to check the links out down below. I have links to Axle Hearing Protection, Gators Eyewear, and a bunch of other companies I like dealing with. Some of these do have discount codes to save you guys money. Some of them are affiliate accounts that do help out the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. We are one nation under God, and I'll see you all on the next one. Plunk!